Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristin. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this week's episode, we'll preview the farmers market season and we'll chat with former County Executive Janet Owens. But first, making headlines this week. Get ready for some serious debating, folks. This week, the County Council will begin discussing several bills about the stormwater fee, also known as the rain tax. The public hearing on 2 bills will be held on Monday night, April 6th in Annapolis. Of course, we will carry the entire meeting live on Arundel TV starting at 7 p.m. So set your DVR now. The 2 pieces of legislation seek to phase out or completely repeal the fee, which is $85 a year for the average homeowner. And if you really want to do your homework, watch the latest episode of Public Affairs Now. Our guests will be Councilman Chris Trumbauer and Michael Peruka, and of course, I should mention our new host, Kelsey Keneally. Break a leg, Kelsey.
Yeah, just don't break 2. Just one.
Just one leg.
And it's just a saying. No real injuries are needed. But you're back safe.
I'm back, a little tanner.
No injuries for you.
Want a little tan?
You do.
A little.
You had a little leave out of the continental United States, still part of the U.S. But
I did.
While Kristin was
researching recycling.
Research and recycling. But while Kristin was experiencing first world problems in Puerto Rico, I was out solving real problems in Arundel County, not just I'm running out of suntan lotion.
Whatever.
But the 8th annual Homeless Resource Day was another huge success. Hundreds of people who are homeless or facing homelessness got every service you can think of, from a haircut or dental work to housing assistance or even a new ID. It was great to see 400 volunteers in action. It was awesome, just the overall show of force that came out. We caught up with Department of Social Services Director Carnitra White, and here's what she had to say.
It's so overwhelming to see so many volunteers, to see so many service providers out today volunteering their time, their talents, and their resources to serve a much needed population with needed resources such as identification, social security cards, birth certificates, health services, dental services, housing resources. We even have our staff who are here today who are going to help people apply for economic assistance if needed and available. So this is such a great resource for our community, for the adults, for the families who are experiencing homelessness or who are on at risk of homelessness.
And if you missed the event this year, don't worry, planning starts right away for next year. So if you want more information on how to help programs that benefit the homeless, call the Anne Arundel County Volunteer Center at 410-897-9207.
It's always a wonderful event.
It was, and of course there were a lot of life-changing moments that day where people got that next step up. But even the simple things. I saw a gentleman come in and he was in need of a haircut, and he trimmed his beard all up, and you just saw his eyes. He was happier. He was ready to make the next step out. So
it's absolutely wonderful, and thank you, and to all the other volunteers that could make that day a special one for lots of folks out there.
Huge team effort.
And speaking of homelessness, County Executive Steve Schuh and his staff got a chance this week to serve warm meals to people near Fort Meade this week. And it wasn't just any food, Chris, it was Chick-fil-A. Sarah's house houses about 65 people, and nearly half of them are children. Well, that was nice, Chris, and I think you said it before on the show. It really makes you proud to see what Anne Arundel County can do when people get involved. We've had so many people ready to step up and help no matter what the issue.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Deana Tice of En-Tice-Ment Farm about this season's farmers markets. I also hear she might have brought a few friends with her. So take a look at our community calendar for events around town, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome back. Joining us on the show today, we have some very special guests here from En-Tice-Ment Farms. We have Deana, Josh, Cody, and the crew. What's going on?
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, Deana.
Sure, it's a pleasure.
Can you tell us a bit about En-Tice-Ment Farms, where you're located, some of the animals you have there?
Sure, we're a family farm down in Harwood, Maryland, and we raise beef, pork, chicken, and lamb, and we have a horse stable as well.
Oh, wow.
So we got a couple samples of what you raised down at the farm here. Do the lambs have names?
We don't name the lambs because we
Okay.
don't want to get that attached
Okay.
because they will be someone's dinner.
Aw.
We are farmers, and this is what we do so that everyone can enjoy our naturally raised meats.
Understood,
Absolutely.
but they are so cute.
They are cute.
They're going to be the cutest dinner in the world one day. So the farmers market's coming up this weekend, and you're one of the vendors there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us some more about that?
Sure, the Arundel County Farmers Market has been there for over 30 years. We're on the corner of Riva Road and Harry S. Truman Parkway, and we're open on Saturdays from 7 to noon. And this year we'll also be open on Sundays from 10 to 2.
That's great.
Oh, wow, expanded hours.
Yes, there's different vendors each day, so it's worthwhile to come out both days to see different vendors.
So you should definitely stop by on Saturdays and Sundays. And also, we were talking a bit off camera, you should come with an appetite, right?
That's right. Come with an appetite. There's lots of things there that are prepared foods ready to eat, and they're foods made by the bakers and the farmers. So it's all producer only at the market.
And what will En-Tice-Ment Farms have?
We will have breakfast sandwiches made with our bacon and our sausage and our fresh farm-raised eggs.
Okay. That sounds delicious. I'm getting excited already. Looks like that one had an accident, but that's okay. Cody will clean up on the way out.
That's
Oh, it was
right.
the
We're
lamb,
used
not
to it.
Just kidding, Cody.
But so you are a local farmer, and these are
Yes.
local animals that are going to be, purchased one day by local residents.
That's
what
right.
are some of the benefits of that kind of system? We're so used to the big stores where goods are shipped from all over the country. What's the benefit of shopping local?
Well, our animals are raised naturally. We don't use hormones, steroids, or antibiotics in our animals. I'm a fourth-generation farmer, and that's the way my family has always done it. And maybe one day my sons will become fifth-generation farmers.
Definitely, right? Now, if people want to come visit En-Tice-Ment Farms, especially right now, it's spring right around the corner. Well, it's supposedly spring right
It
now.
feels
It doesn't
right.
feel, yeah. How can they find out more information about visiting?
We have a Facebook page, and we post our farm hours on that. And we also post our market schedules. So if you forget what time the markets are, just check out our Facebook page, and it'll be on there.
Very good. And one more time, the Arundel County Farmers Market is located Harry S. Truman and Riva Road, and
Yep.
the hours are Saturday and Sunday from?
Saturday from 7 to noon, and Sunday from 10 to 2.
Perfect. Come on out, get a breakfast sandwich from En-Tice-Ment Farms, check out some of the other vendors, shop and support local, and we will see you at the farmers market. I want to thank Deana and Josh and Cody for being on the show today, and your
Yes.
cute little friend.
And Kristen, you cannot take any of the animals home. I just don't think you're ready to handle the responsibility.
I'm ready. I'm handling right now.
It's not like a box of Peeps. You can't just get rid of them after Easter.
No.
Doing
He
very
is
good.
cute. I think we're gonna name him her Lagana.
Yay, Lagana, the chick. Well, we will be right back with more Week in Review. Don't go anywhere.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back. March was Women's History Month, and County Executive Schuh marked the event with a gathering at the Arundel Center. Young girls were able to meet former County Executive Janet Owens and several county department heads. Our own Michelle Corkadell was there and interviewed Ms. Owens about her time as the first woman county executive. Michelle?
Thanks, Chris and Kristin. I have the privilege and honor of being here with County Executive Janet Owens. Janet, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Michelle. It's a great day.
So we are here today commemorating Janet Owens Day. Can you tell us how we got to this day?
I'm not quite sure, but I was absolutely shocked when County Executive Schuh read the proclamation declaring this as Janet Owens Day. It was really an honor and a privilege, and it makes me feel like an antique.
Definitely not an antique, but a very important part of women's history in Anne Arundel County. And that's where I believe genuinely we are at today. Women's history is not just about those who are sitting in a history book, but it's about those people, such as yourself, who have held leadership positions. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about how you got to be county executive and such a great leader for so many years for our county.
Michelle, I felt as though I was blessed in my career because I had so many different wonderful job opportunities. My first job out of college was working for the American Red Cross in Washington, and I learned lessons from my first female boss because she was a World War II veteran, tough as could be, and we were there to serve people. And then throughout my career, I was lucky enough to have some really extraordinary bosses, supervisors, and along the way kept getting promoted and being given more and more responsibility.
Now, you don't just wake up one day and decide to run for county executive. And I understand that that was a unique decision and definitely a hallmark moment in not just your professional life, but also in your personal life with you and your husband.
Yes, Michelle, I really never saw myself as centrally involved in electoral politics. And at the time, there were certain issues going on in the county that I felt very strongly about. And I thought, I'm from the southern part of the county. I'd worked in North County, and I lived also in West County. And I thought, I know this county, and I know we're heading in the wrong direction. So I told my husband and two sons, I'm going to run for county executive. And they thought I really was crazy, especially my husband. And but fortunately, I'm blessed with a terrific family, and they supported it. And thankfully, many, many other people did too. And so on Election Day, when I won, it was like, whoa, this really happened, because it was a dream.
Now, it also was the first time that our county had such leadership, and I suspect there were some challenges that you as a woman faced, unique compared to your male predecessors. Could you explain that a little bit for our viewers?
Well, Michelle, being elected as a woman, the first day I walked into this building, many people, they were worried. They weren't sure, what is she going to do? How is she going to handle things? As Mr. Schuh is going through now, he's getting a staff together, bringing new people aboard, setting priorities, because you're always being bombarded. And you have to really listen to your own counsel, because everyone's always trying to tell you what to do and what issues you should tackle, and you have to stay true to yourself and your knowledge of the community. I felt blessed that I knew people all over this county through aging, through the housing authority, and you have to stay in touch with your gut, you know?
So that instinct usually it comes about the charisma that's involved in that with someone who maybe made that magical difference, that other woman that you could look to for leadership. Who was your mentor and who you aspired to be perhaps growing up and as your career evolved?
Well, Michelle, you know a little bit about South County. I was blessed by having about 6 mothers. And because South County was quite rural in those days. And these women were so close. They were all like sisters. And they pushed me so hard. They expected that I could do anything. No was never a possibility over anything. And my church, St. James Church, they had me play the organ when I was age 12. And I wasn't very good. And the entire congregation, bless their hearts, they worked with me as I improved over time. And then there were just wonderful women along the way.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your personal story as such a very important woman in Anne Arundel County history, and congratulations on the declaration of Janet Owens Day today.
Thank you very much.
Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Michelle. Boy, Janet Owens looks great.
And she is such a nice lady. I had a lovely conversation with her, but
she is wonderful.
Back to Puerto Rico.
Oh, gosh.
I went to Puerto Rico about 2 years ago or so, and I loved it.
Okay.
Did you have the same
I had the
experience?
best time. I didn't want to come home. I wanted to keep researching recycling, looking for effective methods that I could bring back here to Anne Arundel County.
Well, that's one take on it. The pigeons down there are everywhere.
Yes, there's a pigeon park where you actually can pay to get some cornmeal, and they'll eat right out of your hands.
It seems fun in the moment, but if you ever go down to Puerto Rico, don't do it. I got pink eye. You can't. The pigeons are dirty. You can't play with them.
Yeah, I did not do Pigeon Park, but good for you. I actually went spelunking. I have a couple of pictures, a shot of me here at Window Cave. And
She's a spelunker.
A spelunker. I actually went
Can you spell
to
spelunker?
Spelunker.
I didn't even know
Got
how.
any more questions for me?
I wasn't quizzing you. I just didn't know how. It's
Don't mess with me,
interesting
Casey.
word.
But
We've missed each other. Can't you tell?
Also, I went to El Yunque, which is the National Caribbean Forest and rainforest, and I went hiking through there and actually got to get into La Mina waterfalls, which was really cool. So here's a shot of La Mina. And what else did I do? Oh, I visited one of TripAdvisor's top beaches, and that's Flamenco Beach. On TripAdvisor, it's rated like number 8, and that's on Culebra. I took a really exciting, and by exciting, I mean near-death experience on a little hopper plane trying to get over to Culebra. So that was super fun.
You weren't flying it, were you?
I wasn't flying it, but I think this guy was messing with, it was me and some girlfriends, and I think he was messing with us on the plane because we took a nosedive to land. So that was really crazy.
Well, I'm glad you made it safe, because
Yes.
you would have really been sad if you missed those animals today.
I would have been sad, and I'm glad I had all these pictures to rub it in your face.
Oh my God, I can't win. I can't win. Well, Kristin will be going away again very soon.
Oh, what?
I'm just kidding. April Fools, everybody. But no, it's great to have you back.
Thanks.
And we missed you for the commercial shoot.
I missed you guys so much.
Over the beach in the sun, you were just thinking, I wish I was doing Week in Review.
Yes.
But now you're back.
It's nice to be
Your
back.
family missed you.
Yes.
But anyway, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We'll see you next time.
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter!